Mick Bohan is my name. Clean O'Connor is here to help me today, and we're here to present to you on complex skills. Now, some of you probably have been doing complex skills since forever, and some of you may not have been, or maybe you've done it in different ways. But having spent a lifetime involved in coaching, one of the things that I struggled with players was we threw in kind of as a token to work on their weaker sides. And even with the best will in the world, we constantly, oh geez, I better do a little bit with the left foot, or I better do a little bit of work with their left hand. And it's almost impossible. And even to monitor it, how do you know where success is in that? Are they improving or are they not improving? So a number of years ago, we fell upon an exercise where we used two footballs, and we've developed it. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff here today that we've done, and it's something that's constantly in motion, that you're trying to get better at it. You're trying to come up with probably new ways of doing the same thing just to keep it fresh. But I'm going to share some of the stuff that we'd use quite regularly. You have a handout in front of you on the complex skills, and there's 3 challenges which we're going to do with the lads here today. And I think this is really important for you to know. Myself and Clean have met the lads for 90 seconds, all right? And it's unstructured. It's completely unstructured, but that's coaching. We go into a world of mayhem. Like Liam Malcolm was alluding to the fact, when you start at the beginning of a season with a team, it's an absolute quagmire. There are so many problems. There's way more problems than there are solutions. And only as the season goes on do you start to figure your way through the muddle. And that's everybody. That's from the top teams down to a under 6 team. Don't be under any illusion that everyone has the thing solved. And constantly, right up to the final hurdle, whether you win or lose, there's always problems thrown in your way, that our job is to try and figure up ways to figure them out, all right? So the 3 challenges they're doing today is a scoring challenge, a tackling challenge, and a foot passing challenge. I'm going to show you how to use the 2 footballs in each of those challenges. We're going to show you some warm-up exercises with the 2 balls, and we're going to give them some skills challenges. But see the way you're all nice and cozy now, and a few of you have coffee sitting in your hands and it looks great, and you're looking out here. Well, we're going to include you, because only when you feel uncomfortable do you actually understand what the player feels. Because we're all good, me included, on the sideline, but you put the fucking thing over the bar. It's simple, isn't it? Go out and do it. Go out and do it under pressure. Go out and do it when you're a point down with 30 seconds left in the game. It's a different shot then. And you judge yourself differently then when you put yourself in that arena. So I'm going to give you some skills challenges that are going to make you feel uncomfortable, all right? But before we do this, and this is a really important point, how many people have children here? Good. What are they? By the way, I bought them in Mayo. It's the best source of balloon, or biggest balloon I could buy on the way in Ballyhonest, whatever. So I would have started skills challenges with the kids at home with balloons. And why did I do that? Because I was trying to encourage them to use their 4 limbs. So if I started off with a size 5 O'Neill's football, I wouldn't have much success. Why? Because there'd be a fear factor. They wouldn't use both hands, they wouldn't use one hand, but they can play a game keeping the 2 balloons alive with right, left, and the 2 of them have to keep the balloons alive, just using the 4. They can't use the same limb consecutively. Now, I don't use the word consecutively, they didn't understand consecutively, but you get the picture, all right? And then we move on to things like this. So, Philip McLaughlin from Max Sports told me to give him a plug on these. This is his equipment, right? He just caught the ball exactly how you would want a child to catch the ball on a high catch. See, if I threw a size 5 football, he would have waited for that. And I'm not saying you, but a child would have. He would have gone for the lowest catch because it's safe. They wouldn't have tried to go for the highest catch. That makes sense. So little things we're trying to improve. Highest point, catching. You're trying to a foot pass, 1 bounce or better. if you have the wrong piece of equipment for the age group, you won't achieve, regardless of what ideas you come up with. So the piece of equipment is also really important in all of this. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to get going. And as I said to you already, these are unprompted. They don't know what they don't know what we're going to challenge them with, right? And they're the under 16 Mayo development squad, so they're obviously talented young kids. But they're going to be challenged here today, and you're going to see loads of mistakes, and you're going to see a situation where that's not running properly. But so what? That's the game. See, at the moment, it looks like Dublin Airport. All the cones. Looks fabulous, doesn't it? That's not the game. We're only doing that to put a little bit of a structure in it, and then it's going to be unstructured. In fact, the warm-up is going to be unstructured because the game is unstructured. No cones in Crow Park or Park Uquave or McHale Park. So we've to get to a stage where it will be unstructured. You looking forward to it? Yeah. Show a bit of fucking enthusiasm then, will you? Okay, we'll see you in a minute. Okay. Okay, you guys, come on in. Let's go. Everyone got a football each. You need a ball. If you haven't got a ball, get one. So I want you to start off anywhere you want. You can do this. Solo right, solo left. Off you go. You 4 steps. You 4 steps to you. Solo right, solo left. Bounce right. Solo left. Bounce left. Solo right. So the pattern of movement. Your 4 limbs. Solo right. Solo left. Bounce right, solo left, and off you go. If you not got a football, go over and get one of the, it doesn't make a difference what they are, and don't worry about the colour. Okay, so you guys, now get a partner quickly. Take your partner's football. So, one player now has 2 footballs, right? His partner is going to follow him, and if he drops the football, he's going to pick it up for him and give it to him, because you must execute these skills with 2 balls. So, we'll start with you. What's your name? Come. Can't even see that. Charlie, come on, Charlie. Okay, off you go. Solo right, solo left. Bounce right. Solo left. Okay, so just stop a second, Charlie. Now, he hasn't done it and I haven't explained. So solo right, solo left, bounce right, and he automatically went to bounce left. What has he done? He's fouled the ball. Okay, so we don't want to teach them to foul the ball. So Charlie, again, off you go. Solo right, solo left. Bounce right. Solo left, solo left, solo left. Bounce left, solo right. Okay, hand pass right. Hand pass left. Do you see what he did? Just a matter of interest, and very quickly we'll change that. So he went to hand pass the ball, and what he did was he held this ball here and he hand passed here, while what I wanted him to do was that and that. All right, so underhand strike. So there's a lot of stuff coming at once here for them, right? So you're all going to do it. Off you go. Solo right, solo left. Bounce right, solo left. Bounce left, solo right. Hand pass right, hand pass left. Off you go. Let's go again. So you can see the routine. Cleaner, you can talk them through that, or can they hear you? They hear you? You're not mic'd? Okay, bring it over here. Let's go, all of you. We'll get you up as close to people here so as you can see. So you can see the routine in that. Solo right, solo left, bounce right, solo left, bounce left, solo right. And it's up to you. How many times do you do it? Well, how long is a piece of rope? 3 or 4 times they do it each, and we move on to the next exercise, okay? So you guys get yourselves paired up quickly. So watch this. Where's Charlie? Where's Charlie? Come on over to me. Come on, let's go. So Charlie and I have a football each, and I'm taking his off him to start. So on the balls on my feet, we're going to strike underhand right and left. Off you go. So now we're using both sides of our... just hold it. Wait. Now give it to me. Good man. Off you go. Is there any referees here? Any referees? Surely there's a referee in the room. So an underhand strike is a clean strike and it's legal. It's illegal. I don't know what rule it is, but it's something like 316. I have it in my glove compartment because of the amount of referees that we have to actually remind that that's not a free, okay? So, with your partner, I want you quickly, underhand right and left, off you go. Let's go. So straight away. No, it's not a throw. Throw it to yourself and strike it. So it's a clean strike on the hand. Now here's something for you as coaches. And this is the bit between drills and coaching. What part of your hand are you striking the ball with? You can't make a mistake, guys. There's numerous parts of your hand and you could strike it with any part. Which? Fingers. Okay. When you're 6 years of age, do you think you'd use your fingers? Fingers aren't strong enough, okay? When you're adult, you'd use your fingers, all right? So we would get the fingers because there's a spring, all right? Watch this and listen. Do you hear that? It's a slap. Why? Because I'm using my hand, the flat part of my hand, right? But if I tell a kid to use their fingers, they nearly hurt themselves. So I nearly have to make sure that they're using where their fingers make contact with their hands. Does that make sense? Okay? So underhand right and left, they're using both sides of the body. Now we'll challenge them a little bit more. One ball each. Okay, so now, good man, Josh, thanks. Right, Charlie, ready? So we're now going back to one football each, but we're hand passing with our right hand side. So you're allowed to use your two hands now, but your channel is that channel and that's my channel, okay? So let's go. Down the right hand side. Where do I want the football, Charlie? In front of me so as I can see it, all right? So look where I can move the ball, all right? Am I challenging Charlie? Well, do you want to ask him? Am I challenging Charlie? Yeah, okay. So when you talk about levels, there's players who will need to go slow and players who need to go fast. Some players might need to throw, some players will be able to hand pass. Off you go. So down the right channel, you'll see balls hitting each other. You'll see kids stance like this. You'll see other kids who are up on the balls of their feet. So there's so much coaching. Get up on the balls of your feet and don't plant yourselves. Let's go again. And now change, left hand side, your left hand. Get up off the ground, guys, onto the balls of your feet. Okay, and stop again. Charlie, take the two footballs again. Come on, it's Josh, is it? So Josh, you disappear somewhere. Off you go, solo right, solo left, Charlie. Josh, disappear. I want he's to find you. So get away from him somewhere. Solo right, solo left, bounce right, solo. Charlie, you following him? Charlie, get away from him. Go away somewhere else. Let him get away from you. So off you go. Do your routine again. Charlie, anywhere over there. Off you go. Solo right, solo left. Bounce right, solo left. Bounce left, solo right. Now kick one with your right. Josh, look for it. Kick one with your right foot. One bounce or better. There's one bounce. Next with your left. Right, Josh, off you go. Solo right, solo left. Bounce right. Bounce right, solo left. Bounce left. Left. Solo right. Kick right, one bounce or better. So there's better, left foot. And off you go. Off you go, guys. One person, two footballs. Solo right, solo left. So now you're gone to your freedom. And now's your mayhem. But that's the game. In the game, they've to figure that out. So we must train and practice what we want to figure out in the game.
So coaches, maybe have a think about your session out at home.
Good work. Okay, you guys, come on in here. Everyone in here. Can you hear me still? Yes? Okay. So all of the players in behind the 13-metre line. 13-metre line, you're facing me. So I want you to see, they're hearing this for the first time, as are you, so bear with that. So you've got a partner, give yourselves a number 1 or 2. So I think there's 30 players here. So here's one of the questions you'll ask. How do you run these exercises with that number? Well, watch this, right? So all the 1s should have a football. And all the 2s get in behind the goal. So the 1s come up to me here, and you need a ball in either hand. Let's go. So you come up here, good man, face me. Face me. You come up here, so you're here. Either side of the cone, you're there. You go in behind him. In behind, let's go lads. The 2 lads at the front, who's that, Connor and Josh, and we got 2 lines in behind. This which? That's fine. Odd numbers work as well, okay? So this part is important, right? Here's the high percentage scoring zone. In senior men's football, it's something like 77% of all scores come in this area. And if you watch them warm up, most of their kicks took place from outside the area. So they're not practicing what they need to practice most importantly. This is where they need to become really proficient. So this exercise is 6-shot scoring challenge. The cones are color coded. So you're starting at blue always. You've got green, red, yellow. Over here, you've got green, red, yellow. So you're going to start off this side, and because you're going to be scoring with your right foot, you're going to bounce the ball with your left hand, or solo with your left hand, because you're constantly trying to use both sides of your body. So score, land running, come back in. At the same time, when he's kicking with his right foot over there, what are you going to do over here?
Over here and kick with my left.
With your left. Good man, okay? So you'll go with your left, come back in here, then you'll go over here and score with your right. You'll come back in here and come over here and score with your left. So the opposite. So you got 2 shots, one over there with your right, one over there with your left. You come back into the end of the group, the lads will feed you the 2 footballs back. So your colour cones are going to be green, red, yellow. That's the pattern, okay? 2 at green, 2 at red, 2 at yellow. At the same time, you 2 are going to go red, yellow, green, okay? Same exercise. You guys are going to go yellow, green, red. You 2 are going green, red, yellow. You guys are going red, yellow, green. You guys are going yellow, green, red. Back to the start. Green, red, yellow. Red, yellow, green. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 4, 16 players with a scoring exercise all at the same time. Does it replicate the game? Yes. Okay. So there's going to be mistakes, and we'll figure that out as we go along. So 16 players all at the one time, go. Objective is to score. Where are you going? Back you go. Yellow, green cone, come around the green cone, score. Next 2, why aren't you gone? We're all going together. Let's go. All going together. You're going, what's your colour cone? You should know, you were told. Where are you going? Back into the blue each time. You've only 4 steps, guys. If you score with your left, you should be soloing with your right or bouncing with your right. If you score with your right, you should be bouncing with your left or soloing with your left. Footballs back to them. Okay, so now once we get it going. So from your point of view as coaches, most of us stand and go, come on, put the ball over the bar. But that's not what we're trying to do. What we're looking for here is the technique. Where's their head? Is it up or down? Where's their chest? Is it facing the middle of the goal, or is it facing out past the post? Where's the weight when they kick the football? Great strike. And a really good strike, but you turned your shoulder. Because you turned your shoulder too much, the ball drifted. So coaching is figuring out what they're doing right, and if they're not doing it, how can we help them? Good strike, but land running. Excellent strike, good man. So you're looking for body position, your head and your chest. The weight of the shot, so his weight went into the football, so the ball will travel. If they snap at it and stop, then they lose the weight of the pass. His shoulder turned too much, so the ball drifted left to post. So if you look at your sheets, Cliona will show you the language at the bottom of the page. Okay, second group, let's go. Now, you guys, you have to remember your scores. What you get out of 6. Anyone get 6? Good man, because you should be scoring 6 in here. This is the high percentage zone. We shouldn't be missing. All of these cones are within 27 metres. So none of your shots are outside 27 metres. Come on up here. Up you come here, up you come here. So in 2s behind the lads. So, Fionn, you're green, red, yellow. So you're going to start here, bounce, put the ball over the bar with your right foot, back into the blue cone. Now you're going to bounce right, because you're going to score with your left. At the same time, you're starting here, scoring with your left, back into the blue, and then you score with your right. So you're going green, red, yellow. You're going red, yellow, green. You're going yellow, green, red. You're green, red, yellow. You're red, yellow, green. You're yellow, green, red. You're green, red, yellow. You're red, yellow, green. And you're yellow, green, red. Okay? 6. Do you remember your colour codes? You have only 3 to remember. Okay, so count your scores. Where should your head be, up or down? Up. Up. When you're scoring, you're looking at the football, you're not looking at the goal. Where should your chest be when the strike finishes? The centre of the goal. That's where you want to put the ball, all right? Where should your weight be when you've kicked it? Should it be back or should it be forward? Forward, because you want momentum to go into the kick. Are you ready? Go. All 16. Off you go. Now guys, you have to speed this up. You should have 2 footballs, not 1. Good strike, but you didn't, your pendulum, your swing is too short. So get your pendulum back further. Bounce right. Good strike. Use your left hand side the next time. Good strike, but land running. You were too stationary. One little tip and you'd have lost your balance. Good strike, that's excellent. Good boy, well done. Head down, turn your chest, super strike, well done. Very good. Okay, in step, not out step. Lovely strike. Well done, your head was down even when the ball was going over the bar. Excellent, good strike. Turn that shoulder, that's really good. Okay, you lost all your momentum by leaning back. Only 6. You have to count your 6, and you have to remember what you score out of the 6. So in the session, you can record this. You can get one of your coaches. The player comes up and tells you they've got 4 out of 6. Where did they miss? Why did they miss? As they get older, they can start keeping notes on it. Right, guys, you've about 15 seconds to finish this scoring exercise. You got to speed it up. Okay, come out again. So if you look at that exercise there, it was done at a real half pace. And that's not the match. But as they get used to it, the speed of that has to increase. Because you did that as a real low tempo, but this should be done at match pace. There's nobody on you, all right? So you need to get used to executing a score at a match pace. So you have a number 1 or 2, don't you? All the 1s go in behind the goal and you guys have the footballs. All the 2s come out here and you don't have any footballs. So, you know who your partner is. Out you come. Here you go, look at the V. You can't be in here, you're out here. You shouldn't have any footballs, they have them all right? You kicked both of them with your right, did you? Or both of them with your left. You're using both sides of your body, remember, all of the time. Okay, so, who's your partner? Okay, whoever is partner delivering the ball, give him the ball. Okay, so we're going to do something here for the rest of the session. We're not going to do it in 10 seconds, we're going to do it in 3. No matter what you do, it's going to be in 3 seconds. So we're going to speed up the urgency in which we execute things. So when you receive the ball, you're going to do a dummy. What dummy can you do? Can you hop? Can you solo? Do a dummy solo. Go. Now score off your other side. Excellent, okay. But see your head, keep it down. You lift it. Give him a ball again. Let's go. This time do your dummy hop. Go. Good, excellent. Lovely hop. There you go. There's 2 dummies, all right? Now you challenge them. I don't mind what dummy you do, but if you dummy right, you score left, and if you dummy left, you score right. And you must have 3 scores off either side of your body. That means you must practice the dummy off both sides of your body. Okay, let's go. You guys have to feed your partner. You've got 6 again, but it's 3 seconds, not 23. Speed it up, your head down, your body weight going after the football. Now you can see, if you watch, their technique now has changed. Because they're doing a dummy, they're standing still and they're forgetting about the movement going into the ball. So that's something they'll have to go after. Good strike. So you had no momentum into the kick, and that's why it drifted, okay? So get your leg back further and get your weight into the ball. That's a super strike. Okay, so you're changing your kick now. Good strike. Okay, and change. You must have had 6 done. Now, the next group, I'm giving you 45 seconds to get these 6 shots. Your time starts now. You got to speed it up now. Keep your head down. Your instep, your laces to instep. Speed it up. Good boy, well done. Now get your pendulum swing further back. Speed, speed, speed. Need to work on that left foot. Good strike, turn your chest up. That's why it's not going over. Step. Okay, so anyone score 6? Good man yourself. Here we go. Show me your football. Let's go, quick, show me your ball. Right, as fast as you can. Give us 3 dummies. Go. Go. Next, go. Good boy, go. I think he deserves a round of applause for that, do you? Well done. Okay. You guys, bring us over the footballs here a second, and you guys get a water break. Mum, bring the balls over here. Don't kick them over, bring them over. Yeah. Which?
And then get them to take a few questions.
I'm going to do that now. Okay. Put your sheets down. Up you get. Let's go. Everyone. Everyone. You don't have to move for this. Well, you do, to get out of your seat. But other than that. Okay. So you can take a tennis ball, a volleyball, or a football. You guys get a drink of water and go over there for a couple of minutes and take a break. You guys have earned that break. Well done. So, I want you quickly to get a partner. Everyone got a ball? So guys, we had them in 3 seconds to do it. We'll ask you to do it in under 10, all right? So, start off with your partner, and one of you has 2 balls, footballs, tennis balls, volleyballs, whatever you've got, okay? We're starting in 5 seconds. So, I just want you to throw the ball with your right hand and throw the ball with your left hand. Go, just throw it. One with your right, one with your left. Wait till you get them. Give it to it now. Wait.
Yeah, I got it.
Give it to her. There you go. Now off you go. Well done. Throw right, throw left. Anyone need a partner? This man needs a partner. Anyone else need a partner? There you go. Okay, and stop. Now, I want you to strike underhand right and strike underhand left. Off you go. Underhand right, underhand left. Sorry. Very good. Now I want you to go back and take 1 ball each. Now, you're now using 2 hands, but you're striking with your right hand down the right channel. So 1 ball each. The 2 balls are moving at the same time, but they're going down the right channel. It's a hand pass, okay? No, you have 2 hands. Use your 2 hands. You're hand passing down the right channel. And as soon as you've got that, go down your left channel. So you call it with your partner now. Go 1 right, go 1 left. Go 6 right, go 6 left. You decide yourselves. Okay, now hold the balls again. So you got to listen to this one. I'm going to give them this challenge in a second, but I'm going to start with you guys, right? We only 2 volunteers. You guys, thanks. Fair play to you. That's what generally happens, isn't it? Okay, so you're going to throw the ball in the air. When his football is in the air, you're going to hand pass the ball to him. You have to get that ball back to him before your ball lands. Simple as. Go. Excellent. Off you go again. Okay, so now, just listen, because this is important, right? So the first one he hand passed to the right, the second he hand passed to his left. So now we're going to get him, we're going to challenge him. So hand pass 1 with your right, 1 with your left. Then it's your turn. You'll throw the ball to yourself, hand pass 1 with your right, 1 with your left. Go. Excellent, well done. Off you go. Good, well done. Change. Sorry. Okay, as happens, right? Let's go. Come on, go again. Off you go, guys. Have a go. Have a go with your partner. He's on Duffy Circus. So that's your next challenge, okay? Just come on in here a second, you guys, while they're at that. Come on, let's go. Okay, so this is for you, for your development, right? See out there, it's okay for them to go and do things slowly. It's not for you. You have to put yourself under pressure when you do things. I'm asking you to do exercises, and you're there. It's snappy. At the level you're at, you're not at our level. We can only do this thing slow anymore. You guys can't. You can do them fast, all right? So put yourself under pressure. See the little things. A lot of you are lifting your head when you kick the football. The young fella who scored the 3 points for me there, who's at the end, every single strike, when the ball was gone, his head was still down. Every single time. And that's why he scored. That's why he was consistent. And then those fellas kicking with their instep, with their outstep, they were changing their kick. Get the mechanics of one kick right and then move on to the next one. Don't move on until you get them right, okay? So we're going to challenge you when we come back to you. Is that fair enough?
Okay, coaches, so if you put your, stop having fun there. Thanks for fun here. So put your equipment back on the sideline and we're just going to fire a few things that make here a little half-time break.
Okay, you guys. You guys get the footballs. You saw the challenge that they were given. Over you go and start practicing. Let's go. One ball in the air, hand pass right. The next time, ball in the air, hand pass left.
Hello.
Yeah.
So we'll do a few questions in the first bit, and then if you do the tackling and kicking, we'll finish with that.
We'll do the tackling.
I'll take some questions.
Okay, you guys, off you go. Practice the challenge. One ball in the air, and away you go.
So a few questions for Mick here on the perception. Mick, first of all, you talked about the pendulum and you talked about landing running. So what do you mean by that, and what are you looking for when you're watching somebody shoot?
Who was confused by a pendulum?
I was confused. I've known you a long time, I still don't know what you're talking about.
So, my parents got a wedding present of an old grandfather clock. And many years ago, I brought it down to my young fella, who was 4 at the time. He's 20 now. And we showed the kids the pendulum of the clock. And the pendulum of the clock is exactly as is. How do people kick the ball? Most times, they snap. Watch the good kickers. Everything's a pendulum. So that's what it is. Now, what was really important about the pendulum was, many years after we had that group, they got involved with the underage kids. And what were they telling the underage kids? Lads, you have to kick a ball like a pendulum. So the kids were passing on the imagery. The imagery had stayed in their heads. Just an interesting one on imagery. Oisin McConville I met once when I was doing those shooting exercises, and he told me we don't use the term shoot up here. We talk about scoring. And why? Because shoot is a trigger word for panic. He obviously had grown up with it. So the point on that isn't that a really good insight? If you shout onto a pitch, shoot, Jesus, score, that's completely different. Does that make sense? So the language we use is really, really important. Yeah?
And landing running.
So again, if you see a lot of them, when they come to pull the trigger, they stop, put the handbrake on. As opposed to they're just about to score, and the weight is going, so they finish their run. Okay? Does that make sense? So all the momentum goes into the kick. Anything else?
No. If there's anyone one burning question,
I'll give you something here before I move on, because this is, and the development squad coaches would appreciate this. They're at a development stage. I mean, you get senior footballers who are at a development stage, and in fact. And there's an assumption when girls or boys get to adult level that that's it, they're done. They are so far off and done. Like, there's so many things they still have to learn. And I'll just give you an example. Sinead Goldrick, who would have played with us, we would have spent time working on the dummy. So you all remember the Mulligan dummy. So Mulligan comes up, second one, and he roofs the ball. So fantastic skill, okay? So we practiced in the Mulligan dummy, and then we practiced the shoulder roll, which I'm sure you know, right? Player, spin, out you come. So Goldie comes into a National League game 6 weeks after us practicing, and this is what she does. Where Clean is the defender. She comes up, dummies, rolls, and finds herself here. And everybody broke their backsides laughing, right? Except for her. Being the competitor she is, she said, 16 years of inter-county football, and nobody ever showed me how to do a dummy before, and you think it's all fun. So she gave it back to the coaches. Like, at the end, there was an assumption that she could do a dummy. Why would we assume that? So, and that why am I giving you her? Because she's one of the top players. So the assumption is when you get to that level that you're able to execute these things. I'm looking at kids out here, and they're changing between their kicks, but they're not fully sure how to kick it. So who actually said this to me recently? Conor Houlihan. I was down in Cork, and he said to me, nobody has ever broken the kick down in Gaelic football. We always assume that they come up and they're able to kick the ball. And that is a real fact. And we actually have put stuff together from Aussie Rules at the moment, the way they've broken it down in tandem with Gaelic football, and I'm going to share it with the LGFA because there's a lot of good stuff in it. I'm not saying it's a finished product, I'm sure they'll add to it, but it'll help, because there's 3 kicks: your laces, your instep, and your outstep, right? And I'm not going to do this here today, but if you ask most people, what part of the ball do you kick when you kick with your instep? What part of the ball do you kick with your outstep? What part of the ball do you kick with your laces? And you'll hear all kinds of things. The O'Neills, underneath the ball, overhead the ball, side of the ball. And we all know the answer, but we actually haven't asked ourselves, and that's a nugget of information that you need to tell players. It's always the centre of the football. It never changes. Whether you're outstep, instep, or laces, it is always the centre of the football. But you ask anybody in a room, put 10 people in a room, and 7 of them will come up with different answers. But they all know it should be the centre ball. They just think it has to be a trick question, so you wouldn't ask the question otherwise. But if they don't know, then the kid doesn't know. And it's our job to make sure that they do know. Is that fair enough? Question?
No, we're conscious of time.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a tackling exercise over there. So we're going to move everyone over. Before you go, when you get there, listen to the different language.
Okay, sorry about this, lads. We're trying to get everybody working. So we're all over to where the big yellow cones are. Do you see them? Okay, so can you guys, so there's 4 grids there. Can you roughly set yourselves up with 7 on each grid? Quickly. And 2 people go into the centre of it. One of them has 2 footballs. Okay, so in this grid, who are the two players in the middle? I need 2 players in the middle of each grid. Everyone else is at the corners. So you in the centre? Yeah, and you're in the centre. Give him the football. What is it?
Joseph.
Good man. All right, and Fionn. All right. So there's 2 there. So you 2, who's in here? Yeah. That grid there. It's that grid up here. So that's not a grid. You know what I mean? That's a grid there. Yeah. So you 2 in the middle, and over here, what 2 are in the middle? Brilliant. You need a second football. And no, would you believe it's only 4? But get yourself into one of the squares. You've got. Give him the ball. Okay. So you go to the side, we'll get you involved in here in a second. So if you guys make a square around this, you'll understand it. So a lot of you would have come through coaching probably like I did, and you would have seen this grid as a tackling grid. And what normally happened was this. He had a football, and probably he didn't, and he had to tackle him. So Joseph, you're going to try and tackle him. Fionn, you have to keep giving the ball to the player who doesn't have a ball. No, you hold it and you hold it. There's 3 have a ball. So there's only 1 player doesn't have a ball at the moment. Okay, go. Joseph, you're trying to stop him. Now get a ball off someone else. All right, constantly give it to, you can't give it back to the player you got it from. You can't give it back to the player you got it from. You can't give it back to the player you got it from. Good man yourself. Okay, and stop. So, we would have all been used to that, but we're going to change it. Because most of the time, Joseph doesn't get to tackle. And if he does, he gets to tackle his back. That's not what we want. So, your objective is to try to get to the imaginary lines. So there's a line between the cones. Every time you get to a line, you get a score. But if you bounce right, you must solo left. And if you bounce left, you must solo right. So you must keep using both sides of your body. So you can go to that line, then you can go to that one, then you go that one, you can go back to that one, all right? You get a score each time. Every time he touches a line, you count a score, okay? Your job, Joseph, is to dispossess him. If he dispossesses him near hand, he gets a score. If he dispossesses him far hand, he loses a score, okay? If he puts his hand on his back and still dispossesses him, it's a free against him, so he loses a point, and you have a scoring sheet. Now, you're not going to stand there scoring, but you can have somebody so you can count how many fouls. If he pulls him, if he trips him, if he's his hand on his back or he uses his wrong hand. He may never get a ball off him, but he's getting scores. So if I turn up, turn him back, go back a different way, I've got a score by using my near hand. If he runs at me and I use my sternum or I delay him, I'm getting a score. So delay, sternum. If I come up and hit him a shoulder, all right? Oh, so if I come up and hit him a shoulder, I get a score for it. I haven't got the football, but I'm getting scores for the technicality of the tackle. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you guys want to have a go at it? Will you pick someone on the sideline? So you're scoring the tackles, and you're scoring number of time you hit the lines, or is it you? Which? You? Okay. You ready? You have 30 seconds in the 4 grids. Go! Must use the other side. Good boy, well done. If he loses control of the ball, you have to give him time to get it back, or somebody gives him a ball. Good, that's a score for you. Go on again. The other hand now. I said, get in tight. Don't be getting them time to breathe back again. There you go. Good boy. Excellent. Okay, and now you use the wrong hand. Keep going. You have 5 seconds. And stop. Okay, next pair's change. Now, what's really interesting in this is we set this up as a tackling exercise. But can you see what they could develop here away from it? We didn't go after this, but this is what happened, right? In a game, naturally, I would use my strong side to hold the ball and protect myself and my weaker. When we started using the tackle grids, that changed. The players started to use their weaker side and get their hand. Now, what's the next stage of that? I'm on my weaker side at this point in time, okay? He's coming in to tackle. I now am back on my stronger side. Now, some players have 2 feet. I think of the likes of Kevin McManaman, who developed both sides and you couldn't tell at the end whether it was right or left. You just couldn't tell. Dermot Connolly was the same. There was other players who don't get to that level. But that doesn't mean their turn didn't change. They started getting better turning off their weak side from this exercise, away from the tackling. And as we all know as coaches, we give out about tackling, we give out about refereeing. But here's going after the technicality of the tackle. Are you ready again? Go. Near hand, get your hand off his back. Good. And again, other hand. Do you see the tendency? See what he wants to do? So we need to retrain him, that's all. Off you go again, good. Excellent. Turn him, play the football. And the other side now, you must play it on your right. You must play it on your right, your other right. Good boy, well done, and stop. Okay, next part. So you can see there, but it's very clear. The foul is clear here. But equally, if you look, so we're asking the ball carrier to use both sides of his body. Now that's an advantage to the tackler, but we want it to be an advantage. It's tackling we're going after here. Okay, go. The other side, good boy, that's excellent. Up again. Your left. The left hand looks like it's a shopping trolley at the moment. Use it. And stop, that's good. You can see when you're not used to using both, you can see kids who'll do that. They'll play all day and this will be tucked in, but we don't want that. We want them to play with it, okay? Ready again? Next pair, go. Are we under pressure for time?
Yeah, we'll go straight into questions now after this.
Okay. Good, that's excellent. Go on, hold them up. Well done. Good, and again. Got your hand off his back. Well done. Good. That's excellent. And stop. Okay. Folks, do you want to come in a little bit closer here? We've guys, that's really good from you, and thank you so much, all right? That's Mayo's under 16 development squad. If you go away, simple little messages to take out. Your scoring exercises. Where should your head be, up or down? Down. Where should your weight be when you kick the football? Following the football, all right? Where should your chest be when you strike the strike? If I start here, where will my chest finish? On the black spot. So if my shoulder comes around, look, if I finish here, the ball has now drifted left of post. If I finish here, the ball has drifted right of post. If I finish here, the ball has gone over the bar, as long as the strike has taken place. So I know why I've scored and why I've missed. That's a lot better than not knowing. How'd you put that over the bar? I'm not sure. Well, how are you going to do it again? So your head down, your pendulum, which is a fuller swing, and your chest following the strike, okay? The tackles, keep going after your near hand. Keep going after the hand. Why? Because if you look, come at me in a game. Bring the football, come on. Look, he comes at me, go, go. Look, where's my feet? So there's only two things going to happen. Either I foul him or he's gone by me. Come at me again. Look, just hold on a second. I'm not as quick as you are. So, John Morrison, many of you would have remembered John, who was a good pal, would have talked about the Roman soldier stance. So Michael Jordan does it on YouTube if you want to look. Where am I showing him where I want to go? So is he going to take it? No, he's not. Go. So now in one step I'm back in the game because I'm not flat-footed. It's that make sense? But equally, look, watch again, so he's gone. I wanted him to go there, go. Now I'm back in with this hand. If I'm not trained to do that, and I turn, and I come here, all of that was to naught. Because my footwork is right, but now my body position is wrong. Okay? Lads, thanks for your help. I was a little bit rushed, but thank you very much for your time, all right? And good luck to you in your development. And going back to something that Lee Moggan said, acknowledge the work your parents do, the coaches in your club, and your development squad coaches, because it doesn't happen without them, all right? Okay. Guys, ladies.
Okay, we might pull in a little bit tighter, and we can ask a few questions. I have a couple of questions, first of all, to get the ball rolling. So Mick, a season developing with a team, you've got some people who are excellent at those skills, some people who are not so good. How do you manage it? How much time do you give it? How do you help somebody develop through those exercises? And you've got a really good player and somebody who's not so good.
Just shows that, come on. You'll see kids, and we have them, right, who will throw a ball on the weaker side, and it'll be this, right? So I'm telling you to go and practice complex skills with a kid who's struggling to do that. That's some leap, isn't it? Okay, so it's too far. So I'll change two things. See the piece of equipment. See the pink volleyballs over there. Try soloing with a pink volleyball. Just try it. First of all, now you can go back to curling the boot, because the weight of that is fear. It's a fear in their head towards it, right? The mechanics, I've got my little one's 8, and so they've an under 8 team. I have kids who try to kick the ball and they do this. You know those? Get rid of the weight of the pass. Get rid of the weight of the ball. We now have gone down to lighter balls, and they're now dropping, getting into the habit of dropping it. Now the kick isn't natural still, but Rome wasn't built in a day. But they're now dropping the ball and they're kicking it here. They're not kicking it out there. So that's changed because of the weight of the ball. We would have, for anyone involved in women's football, we would have struggled hugely, and still do, with the instep kick. Most girls kick off their laces, so it's equivalent to kicking off that as opposed to that, all right? And as the lads will tell you, I don't know what it is, and there is a part of us in this that at 6, 7, 8 years, Jesus, let them kick it anyway, for fuck's sake, they're kicking it, and we give up on them. And I'm not sure we do the same with our boys. So there's a little bit of responsibility comes back to us on that one, right? So I would change the weight of the ball. The other thing is this. See in the hand passing exercise where with some people we just said throw it. So they're using this side of their body, which is this side of their brain. So that's a start. Let's get the mechanics of the brain working, right? Or I used to have a kid in my club many years ago when he was soloing left. It was a disaster. We had him started working with his thigh, all right? And just on this one as regards development, because I hope Gordon Kelly, if he gets this message back, doesn't mind. I was with Clare for a year, and Gordon Kelly, one night I was coming home and I realised we were coming out of the ball terribly slow out of defence, and I rang him to say, Gordon, I'm only after dawning on me. One of the reasons we're not coming out quick is you're not kicking it. I was told 10 years ago not to kick the ball, Mick. I haven't kicked it since. Fact. That's a fact. He scored a point that summer, 7 months later against Sligo in the championship, and it was the biggest cheer in the dressing room afterwards. 33 years of age. The door doesn't shut, guys, all right? And if we go after it, it'll eventually come. So sometimes it's the piece of equipment, sometimes it's patience, sometimes it's going into the toolkit and trying to find the right tool, because there isn't a one fix all.
Okay, questions from anybody in the audience? We've got a burning question.
What about training for dummies? For training dummies?
The dummy.
There, does it come natural or is it something?
So that's, if the question was the dummy. This is a true story. You might find this hard to believe. When we started off with the development squads in 2002, 2003, for anyone who is looking, if you look back in 2002, 2003, Dublin weren't winning anything, right? And I know people kind of, they put things into a bracket, but we weren't successful in anything, right? Now, success, you can talk about what is success. If you're producing good development squads and you're producing good footballers, maybe that is success. But I'm talking about as regards winning actual national titles, right? Do you know what we had to do then with our development squads? We had to go to other counties to pick players executing high skill sets, like Peter Canavan. the Canavan, I don't know if you remember Canavan, so if the goals are there, Canavan used to come to the end line and he'd spin and spin back, or he'd spin in and spin around. I don't know if you remember the spin. He had an unbelievable shoulder roll. Like the likes of Sean Cavan at that fabulous dummy, we know he's going there, but if you step there, he's gone there. So we had to take video footage of players from other counties. Now you might find that hard to believe, but that is a fact, right? We don't anymore. Now we're able to go to our own players, right? So the answer to that is, you have to start somewhere. When we started with the girls, we had to take footage of fellas. We couldn't find girls. Valerie Mulcahy, by the way, was the only one I could actually find on any bit of material where she did dummies that we could try and replicate. And again now, we're going back to our own. We're finding our own. And when we find them doing something really good, we'll snip it and then repeat it. I hope that helps.
I think we're being called back. So just from me to finish, one of the big things that I've seen working with Mick is what all that does when you force a player to use both sides. You're not telling them to do anything. You're putting them in scenarios that there's no choice, because we always choose the path of least resistance when we're practicing. We like practicing what we're good at. So all those skills force you to practice the things that under pressure you don't like doing because you're not particularly good at, and that's the big advantage of it, and that's where you get that individual development for everybody. Mick, have you anything to finish? Last 30 seconds.
It was rushed, a little bit rushed. I think this is really worthwhile talent. If we can just show that a second. I gave it to you. Can I have it for a second? I'm only joking. Do you see at the bottom of the page, right? See the language? In 2013, when we did the wash up on our season, this has always stuck with me, right? That, okay, so those scoring exercises are good, and you can turn out or you can turn in, right? But you can see it's all done in the high percentage zone. But this is what the players told us, and ultimately we're judged by the players. They're our judge, all right? Way more than the audience, by the way, they're our judge, because they know who's good and who's not good. They know who's doing it right and who's not, right? But what they came back and told us was, the exercises were a challenge, yeah, we enjoyed them, but the repetition of the language was the key to success. Constantly repeating, head down, land running, chest dictates direction, pendulum swing, sweet spot kicking, whatever. Now, when I tell you that Paul Flynn, Bernard Brogan, whatever, that list of players, the top players at that time, they told us that. So if they're telling us that they needed to get that repeated all of the time, what do these need? Does that make sense? So yeah, it's the exercises. And one last thing on that, just quickly, any four of you, come on up here quick, let's go. Get 2 footballs, make a square and get 2 footballs, all right? So make a square, okay? So give him that football. Just watch this just to finish off on, right? I want you to pass the ball around the grid as fast as you can. Go. So every one of them will get the football taken off them in again. So that's a drill, but we're coaches. So how do we change that to stop it? What can you do differently?
Put a player in the middle.
Huh?
Put a player in the middle. Defensive.
No, but what do you do technically to stop me getting the football? Okay, move would be one part. What about using your outside hand? Use your outside hand. Protect the football. Now they put them between the ball and me. Okay, and they're using their outside hand, all right? So that's, when we talk about drills or training, we can all pick out a drill, but what's it for? And ultimately, what do you want to achieve out of it? So do you see the difference between drills and coaching? I hope that helps, guys, all right?
Finish on. Thanks everyone, thanks Mick.